and now I've completely lost it.
Let's get her a coffee.
Yeah, right. The Truman National Security Project, which is dedicated to kind of expanding on the idea of connecting progressive Democrats and not equating them with progressive military issues, Department of Defense issues, and kind of marriage that and have a broader understanding, which is also what we see ourselves doing on the local level. Here in Hampton Roads, it's kind of funny to be talking about this because I'm probably talking to a lot of people in this room who are veterans, and I'm not telling you anything you don't know. But we have members, in Oklahoma and in Georgia and in Wyoming and California, not around the San Diego area. So it's funny for us to be here. It's a little bit different than what maybe some other chapters are focusing on. And then we have that falls into the education, where individually here we've tried to meet with different political candidates and let them know, like we did during the election, we're here if you want to kind of tap into see what military families are thinking about. We did an internal survey of our members. Recently, it's kind of been over the process, but as much as they tried to politicize the military vote during the election, the number one thing that came, and it came as a write-in, was that military families were worried about what the constant deployments were having the effects on the children. Which, it wasn't the ban on pictures at Dover, or whether we cared about Guantanamo Bay. When you sit down and really talk one-on-one, you find that, we're worried about the effects on our kids. So that's just, that keeps coming to mind when I'm reading all these news articles as groups are trying to go one way or the other. And then the final thing, I think, was education as our ambassador role that we would like to play. As kind of not being, I think sometimes you either try to make military families be these victims of something, so we want to expand on that and make it, we're strong, we're innovative, resourceful, we chose this life, there's no victimhood there, and we're proud of it. But there are some issues that do need to be addressed within the defense policy, foreign policy, which also affects domestic policy. And the level of people that I have met during this process, it's just constantly amazing that, they're not talking about these kind of, I don't want to say peripheral, but that usually come out when the media asks a question. They definitely have an answer already in their head that they want. And these women, like I said, they're focused on how can I get, reciprocity for other states when I move, because my husband's career moves and I have to repay to get certified every 2 years in every different state. Or when we move, my children have to retake 9th grade social studies for that particular state because they took it in California. So those are, the issues that come up with us that aren't nearly as sexy, but very instrumental to what it means to be a military family. So I kind of veered off topic. I knew that was going to happen. Thank you guys for listening. And Stephanie brought some cards, and we do have the press book from stuff that we kind of did before the election, just to show you that, usually people that are representing us are a lot better at this. And so if you have any questions afterwards, we'll be here. And I don't know who to turn it over to. Yeah. But thank you so much for...
Don't sit down yet. Here for me. Don't sit down yet. Ollie thinks of everything. In the box with the public address system are 2 coffee mugs. So everywhere you go the rest of your life, if you have that mug and $2, thank you all very much. Thank you.
Are they taking any questions?
Sure.
I think Tim has a question.
Do you have a question, Tim?
No, I don't have one.
She's a lawyer. She gets paid by the word.
Yeah, right?
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Commander of the Legion Post, American Legion Post 110 here in the DC. We get a lot of maybe families who need financial help, and we can only help with those that children involved. What, do you all have anything available that's going to...
Unfortunately, right now we are self-funded, which means we have absolutely no. Hopefully, that won't always be the case.
So we do
But-
have a growing list of organizations that we partner with, that we are, like the MOAA and other, like, things like that. So if you do, I mean, we'll help in any way we can. We know a lot of people in a lot of different places.
We can put them in touch with someone who can help.
And I'll give you Stephanie's card.
Right, and part of our goal is to support military families in any way we can. So our hope is that they feel like they can come to us or their base coordinator, and we can help them with anything they need.
I know they go to relief groups.
Yeah. But sometimes it's just nice to know that you can call someone and someone will know something.
Yes, we can be just the one person they call. If that's the only number they know.
I'll come back. Not to let you read me out the question I had was, did you run into institutional resistance in the course of what you were doing last year? How much did you run into, maybe a better question? And the secondly, related to that, or following up on it, am I reading it that you are not going to be endorsing candidates going forward, or is that something that you're still waiting?
We can't endorse officially.
Right.
We have a local network here, and we have to tread a fine line here because we're going to be part of another organization as well that's officially nonpartisan, but was started by progressives. So we have a local organization, and we've actually been toying with forming an offshoot of that as well, so that we can address this particular problem. Call us something entirely different, completely unassociated with Blue Star families, but we can't officially endorse right now. Just between us and all of you, our network is here.
And like, for example, last week, the Military Spouse Residency Relief Act came up. And even though Blue Star Families, as an organization, we didn't endorse a specific policy preference, because that can get kind of tricky with a 501c3 status, which is what we're going through to get. We said, share your experiences, and of course those experiences come up to a certain point, and then they went up and gave testimony, and I think also it was originally introduced by a Republican in Texas, which shows that if it's a good idea, we're going to get behind it. We just think most probably good ideas come from the other side of the line, but I think we gain credibility, and if we want to attract all of the military families that we could, we kind of have to move back to the center. But there's other legislation coming up, and locally we've been meeting with different candidates who show, because we're pro-military, and before the election it was pro-military, pro-Obama, and now, we're pro-military, pro-American, or pro-whatever, so wherever that leads us.
By institutional resistance, do you mean the military?
Well, I was thinking perhaps in individual commands that you might have run into.
We sort of organized around them. So.
Yeah, we were very, we weren't going through .gov or .mil addresses. We were very, because we had some there was one woman